Alright everybody, welcome back to another stream where we are continuing the Amphoreus arc. Unfortunately, they had an epilogue for Penacony, so I'm still in Penacony. So we'll get through that and see where we go as we're streaming here. Get a message in my chat real quick. Pin that to the top. Here we go.
This is ridiculous! How come I keep bumping into colleagues? Shall we keep going then? Did you forget already? Miss Ting Yun is going back to the Alliance, so we're here to help her pick out souvenirs.
I'm not too familiar with this planet. I'm worried an unscrupulous cutthroat merchant will try to take advantage of me. Luckily, the people I want to buy these gifts for are friends you already know on the Xianzhou. So I'll be counting on both your stakeholder intuitions for recommendations.
As if a merchant could seriously take advantage of you.
I already picked up a few gifts earlier, so that means there's only 3 more left to go. But we've already lost a lot of time, so we better not drag our feet.
He needs help. Speaking of dragging, this storyline is dragging my feet when I want to go to Amphoreus already. Or whatever.
Welcome. How can I help you?
Hello there. It's my first time visiting the Dreamscape, so I wanted to buy some local specialties as souvenirs for my friends back home. My 2 friends here are more familiar with the Dreamscape and recommended your shop, so I'm here to take a look.
Why, you really know how to flatter. Go ahead. Browse all you like.
First we have Lady Fu Xuan of the Divination Commission. What do you think best suits her?
I don't know, because it's been so long since I've been to the Gene, so whatever.
Can you picture her driving?
No, I don't even know who we're talking about.
It looks cool, but it's probably not a good idea.
Lady Fu Xuan has such refined taste. The Xianzhou really has changed a lot in the time I've been asleep. Let's go with your suggestion. Next is General Jing Yuan.
Absolutely.
Seriously?
March, why are you here?
Now that the Alliance has all of you there to help them, sending any elite fighters more would just be overkill.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's not your decision to make.
That it was.
That's the kind of treasure I've always yearned for. But the General's position won't allow him to accept such a gift. Come to Clock Studios theme park to learn more about the history of the planet of festivities. I think the General will like this gift.
I don't, but sure, let's go ahead.
Finally, we have Lady Bailu of the Alchemy Commission. She loves excitement.
with syrup.
That's a good idea. It might be commonplace, but it's still the specialty of Penacony. It would make for an ideal gift to bring home. That's all of them. Please wrap them up for me. Thanks to both your help, everything went smoother than I expected. And it looks like we still have some time to spare.
Can we not?
Why don't we pay another visit to the Dreamscape sales store?
Let's not.
You can find memory bubbles pretty much anywhere, but Penacony's dream bubbles are extraordinary. Even if we don't get them as gifts, we can keep them as souvenirs for ourselves.
A souvenir for myself? That's definitely an idea I can get behind. But there's one more thing I wish to do. Since this is our last stop, could I have a word with you two in private? Perhaps somewhere more secluded. I'd like to discuss a personal matter.
Okay.
Everything you want, we have it.
Yeah, right here.
This is a good
upstairs.
spot.
Yeah, okay.
Miss Ting Yoon, what's this about?
You've looked out for me during our travels together these past few days. I'm truly grateful and can't thank you enough. But there are some things I find difficult to forget. I feel it's only right that I tell you what's on my mind before we part ways. Do you two still remember what it was like when you first saw me?
How could we forget? He was so shocked. He was frozen in place when he shouted.
Exactly.
Sure.
And that's precisely why I haven't been able to shake off this strange feeling in the days since I started traveling with you. When I asked for your names, I couldn't help but think that this first encounter was actually a long-awaited reunion for you. I've heard about what happened to you on the Xianzhou. And I've got to admit that Phantilia's disguise was so perfect, it was like another me tricking everyone.
Yeah, we couldn't even tell when you were replaced by Phantilia. I figured it happened when we were after Kafka. You vanished for a while. I thought you must have come back as a double.
But it was much earlier than that. That thought has me filled with sorrow. As if a piece of my life had been stolen away, and I had no part in it. That's what I've been puzzled about too. I never actually saw how Phantilia managed to disguise herself as me. What was your impression of that Tingyun, if you recall? That part is true. I'm always calculating when it comes to business, but never with people. So, what did she seem like to you? I'll just assume that's a compliment. Maybe next time you could just say silver-tongued. Was
given an
there
option.
anything particularly memorable?
Hey, no tattling!
Now the final question. In your eyes, am I just like the Tingyun you remember?
Wait, don't you find that question a bit weird? You're the real Tingyun. Why compare yourself to an imposter?
Miss March, you might have the wrong idea. I'm just feeling a mix of regret and relief.
Uh-huh.
As a merchant, staying well informed is crucial. It's only natural for me to stay updated on the events of the Lawfu before I return. If I had rushed in and out back then, I wouldn't have been much help. Instead, I would have postponed the trip and sought assistance from allies, but in that case,
We wouldn't have crossed paths.
exactly. Based on your description, that Lord Ravager was indeed cunning. Her demeanor mirrored mine so closely that it felt like she was living my life for a few days, rather than merely disguising herself. I regret missing out on your Xianzhou journey. But everything that unfolded afterward, aside from the scheming, played out exactly as if I'd been there. This leads me to consider another possibility. Phantilia had stolen a piece of my life, and a Foxian always gets even. I will not be taken advantage of. I must take something back from her as well.
Good luck with that.
But after thinking it over, the only thing that could be considered equal value is the bond I have with all of you.
So glad we're doing this storyline.
That thought has brought me great comfort. And now I know how to speak to you properly. We've never even met before, and here you are, offering your help, just as before. I should have treated you with respect, but fear of Phantilia made me act like somebody else. And now, I will reclaim everything I have lost. And it should begin with a proper acknowledgement. Dear benefactors, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to you. Looks like we're off to a good start. Moving forward, I'll definitely be trying more things like this from now on. And you, my dear benefactors, will be my source of courage.
Miss Tingyun, that's way too over the top. Just don't make any risky decisions. It might overwhelm him.
Right.
We'll
Me, not
see.
you.
I just hope the Tingyun in your memories won't be tainted by Phantilia anymore. All right, no more questions. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. Let's continue on our way.
You took up a lot of time. This planet has taken up a lot of my time.
A dream about eons?
Welcome to the Dreamscape Sandstorm. Dr. Edward at your service.
We're looking for some dreams to give as gifts. Something exotic and preferably captivating.
Just a friendly reminder, being too picky won't help you find the best dream. Just to dampen your spirits ahead of time. That being said, there are always some lucky exceptions. Not too long ago I procured a dream bubble that sounds perfectly. The story unfolds in the Xianzhou Alliance, where a young swordmaster strives to become the sword champion. However, his junior Foxian sword, who just turned 100, puts him in a tough spot.
Why does that sound oddly familiar?
Since I'm returning to the Xianzhou, I think it's better to choose something unrelated to the Alliance. Feel free to pick a few for me.
I love customers like you. So easy to work with.
So easy to take advantage of, you mean? Just don't pick anything weird, okay?
Oh, speaking of dreamscapes, I have a gift for you, my benefactors. After troubling you all this time, I couldn't leave without properly expressing my thanks. Here's a dream bubble for you. I hope you enjoy it.
Wow. That's really nice of you.
Now, here are the dream bubbles I've prepared for you. thank you for your business.
Well, it looks like everything's finally in order. I suppose it's time to head back?
Trailblazers from the Astral Express, welcome to the Dreamscape Sandstorm. A long time no see, Diamond in the Rough. You must be here to experience those dream bubbles. I've already made the necessary preparations. Be careful, though. We did pass the safety inspection stipulated by 027 Damage Ferris and Article 076 Railways. However, this dreamscape will feature unfiltered and unpolished fresh memory. It will make for a very vivid experience. Veteran gamers call this type of dream a thrill dream. I don't know if you're into that kind of thing. If you feel any discomfort, please leave the dreamscape immediately and seek professional medical help. Luckily, I just so happen to be an excellent doctor. Albeit a psychiatric one. Let us begin. Please, close your eyes and rest your forehead on the dream bubble. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. That elegant girl mentioned something before she left.
The nature of this memory is special. Don't ruin the dreamscape experience for anyone else by spoiling the ending.
In my estimation, there is no question about it. This is murder.
Murder. Such a foreign word to us. The people of Penacony could never come to any harm while under the watchful protection of the family. In a dream, even if you're bashed 1,000 times with a hammer, at worst, you'll still wake up in reality in a hotel.
Not necessarily. Even if the result does not constitute harm, the criminal intent is clear enough. You specifically came here to cordon off the scene because of the unsavory nature of this case, right?
You're not wrong. Even if there are no casualties, being smashed over the head with a hammer in the middle of the street for no reason at all? This is not the kind of thing that happens on Penacony. You are guests of the Oak family, so you may investigate the crime scene. I'll be on standby over here.
Are you a witch? Just how did you manage to convince them in the blink of an eye that we're some kind of detectives?
Just some suggestions at the memory level. If something happens in everybody's memory, then that something becomes a fact. Rather than hearing endless explanations, would you like to experience it for yourself?
No! Hey, you can save that for the enemy.
Then, on to the next order of business. Let's discuss your companion, shall we?
Memo Keeper of the Garden of Recollection. I've been watching you for quite some time. You stole a glance at me when you first entered the hotel. You followed me wherever I went inside the dreamscape. In the windows along the commercial street. In the pond water reflections of the Iding Park. Even in the reflections of the wine glass. Everywhere. My dear, do you have a crush on me? Well then, seeing as you're so interested in me, let's play a little game. I left a puzzle for you near OT Mall. Solve it and prove that you're capable of pleasing me. If you can solve it, then we can talk. Don't leave me waiting, my dear. Before Penacony gets flipped upside down, try to find me, catch me, and stop me.
There's actually more than one memo keeper who's come to Penacony. She's mixed me up with someone else. But no harm, no foul. The address that the mask gave you is right here. But you never would have thought that when Miss Sparkle mentioned a game, she was talking about wanton slaughter on the streets of Penacony. Such a direct act of provocation is enough to get my competitive side worked up too.
Madam, forgive me. I had no idea about anything she said. As you saw, I went through a brain scan and everything. I'm just a friend, helping her deliver a letter, that's all. I never knew this was actually a declaration of warfare. They say you shouldn't kill the messenger. So, maybe you can just, let me go. You all are the big shots here. I'm really not on your level.
What a frightened look you have. Don't worry. Since this has nothing to do with you, I won't be suspecting you of anything. Why don't you come take a stroll with me?
Oh, seems like I can't escape being an assistant detective. Oh, fine. It's all fine. No big deal.
If there's anything you'd like to know, please ask away.
Who was the victim?
An IPC employee named Shamari. Eyewitnesses reported that a tall, strong man wearing a large robe with long sleeves walked right past Shamari, and suddenly assaulted him with a hammer. Shamari collapsed on the spot and woke up from the dream. The murderer vanished in a flash.
Ooh, that sounds just like Sparkle. Her best asset is transforming her appearance to look like someone else.
Who are those two little guys?
Seems like the assailants stole the troop from elsewhere and deliberately placed them here. What nerve. They don't even have the slightest consideration for public order. Those two have clammed up. I wonder if you two could help pry open their mouths.
Looks like a puzzle that Sparkle has left behind for you.
Any leads yet?
This is a developing case, so there aren't many clues yet. All we have to go by are the weapon used by the assailant and the victim's ID. They didn't even take the weapon with them. Sounds like they're trying to provoke us. Despicable.
Where's Mr. Shamari right now? I'd like to meet him.
I'm afraid you can't. The Oaks came forward and calmed him down. Mr. Shamari expressed that he understands the unpredictable nature of dreams, and went on to vacation in another dreamscape. Best not to bother him. Guest experiences always have to come first.
Oh, I'm afraid by the time we find him, half of Penacony will have been sent back to reality by Sparkle.
Looks like we'll have to play this little game of sparkles then.
Lady Black Swan, you're here! I'm the constable, and this here assisting me is the bailiff for this case.
Mr. Coldfeet, why'd you do it?
So they can talk after all. Miss Black Swan, they're heading straight for you.
Don't interrupt, I wasn't talking to you. Ahem. I understand Lady Black Swan has quite the intellect. I'm sure you'll be able to get to the bottom of the Sparkle murder case.
The Sparkle murder case? Wasn't the victim Shamari from the IPC?
You're wrong, Lady Black Swan. The victim is evidently none other than the matriarch of the Goldhammer family, Miss Sparkle Goldhammer.
Oh, I guess Miss Sparkle has written herself into the skit here, and this has nothing to do with the actual case. Goldhammer? Is that her real surname?
Never heard of it. Sounds made up. Sparkle doesn't sound like a real name either.
Miss Sparkle was supposed to receive 3 valiant warriors at the Goldhammer residence today, but upon their arrival, all they found was her body. Miss Sparkle had been smashed over the head by a hammer and died on the spot. Such a brutal act of violence.
My investigations discovered that the 3 warriors were supposed to escort supplies back to their territory the day before, but they were unexpectedly ambushed by the Annihilation Gang. They narrowly escaped and barely got away with their lives, finding their supplies almost completely raided. So they all shared a motive for killing Miss Sparkle: to escape punishment.
So the 3 of them teamed up to kill her.
Is the case closed?
No, there can only be one murderer. It's not an unsolved mystery if there are 3 murderers. Hang on. Wait.
If you can't justify it, don't bother.
Got it! Those 3 were all vying against each other to be number 2. They couldn't have cooperated on anything. So it must have been one of them acting alone.
That actually doesn't make much sense. Even if they were on bad terms, those 3...
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are lots of clues at the crime scene that are sure to help you apprehend the real culprit.
I've got the case file right here. If you want to learn more about the suspects, talk to me. Lady Black Swan, allow me to introduce the 3 suspects to you. Lefton, Zhongshan, and Wright. Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed while he was valiantly fighting off the Annihilation Gang. He's now learning how to write and hold a fork with his left hand. How tough that must be! Then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. It's a real shame, as he used to be one of the rare handsome men left around town. Last of all comes Wright. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies after they narrowly escaped with their lives, lying about how the gang had taken off with everything. Lefton and Zhongshan were so incensed that they broke his legs.
Hang on, I'm confused here. Left on? Right? Is this some kind of joke?
What? Where did you get that idea from? Do you need me to go over it all again?
Got it. But it sounds like Mr. Assistant Detective has his own misgivings. Would you like to go over it again?
Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed while he was valiantly fighting off the Annihilation Gang. He's now learning how to write and hold a fork with his left hand. How tough that must be! Then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. It's a real shame, as he used to be one of the rare handsome men left around town. Last of all comes Right. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies after they narrowly escaped with their lives, lying about how the gang had taken off with everything. Lefton and Zhongshan were so incensed that they broke his legs. That's all the intel we have on the 3 suspects.
Look! An ID card. Talent Motivation Department, Shamari. Is this the victims?
Mr. Shamari's belongings should have disappeared alongside him as he woke from the dreamscape. The fact that this ID is here means Miss Sparkle placed it here on purpose to prove that she definitely attacked someone.
Holy moly! This hammer is super heavy! This must be the murder weapon for the Sparkle murder case!
Miss Sparkle also used it to attack Mr. Shamari.
I'm barely able to lift this using both hands! I have no idea how Sparkle could ever use this to hit a target! Is that all the evidence? How are we meant to solve this with so little to go on? Oh, you scared me! When did you pop out?
The 2 pieces of evidence that you found are related to the attack on Shamari. Miss Sparkle didn't leave them lying around for no reason. They're clues to the puzzle. But there are still some other clues that were placed in other areas, so they won't spoil the crime scene.
Isn't that a bit unnecessary?
Thank you. This whole arc is unnecessary.
No. It's disruptive to have a stack of irrelevant things crowding a crime scene. Miss Sparkle is a law-abiding citizen who'd never bring extra trouble to the family.
Seems quite nice of her, if you ask me.
Looks like Miss Sparkle is adding a little spice to the investigation. Let's take her up on her offer then. Mr. Assistant Detective, this way.
Okay, this is the problem. And the company is too freaking much. The fact this is supposed to be the start of the Amphoreus arc is ridiculous.
What's this little device here for? Could you please let me know? It looks like a little button.
Don't push it, Lady Blackswan. Whatever you do, don't push it! That's the mutually assured destruction button that Miss Sparkle installed. Once pushed, Miss Sparkle and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke! Miss Sparkle also has her own button. The second she pushes hit, you and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke!
That sounds like both buttons can do the exact same thing.
Correct! Exactly the same.
Thank you, Sam.
Oh,
Aren't you going to ask me why?
No, please don't.
okay. Why?
Because she is fair.
This is nuts!
And the fact that the game keeps having commentary on how stupid all this
Yeah.
I just want to easier what the limiter had to do.
What's this? A plush toy?
Regardless of why it's designed to look like the conductor aboard the Astral Express, this doll, is it connected to the case?
Have you ever heard of something called a red herring in detective stories? It's a fake clue that leads you down the wrong path.
I see. But when it's so obvious, doesn't that defeat the purpose?
That's just in case you didn't realize the ingenuity of Miss Sparkle and were worried about her throwing out a random, useless clue.
I see. Thank you for your keen insight. Then, let's pretend we were misled by a red herring. This doll, could it be connected to the case?
You don't have to play along that hard, you know.
This notice seems like a hint for us from Miss Sparkle.
That sounded like a story from ancient times. And why did the facial recognition system suddenly go out?
Do with objective face, guys.
This is so her style, isn't it? Doesn't look like there are any more clues. Let's head back to the crime scene.
Next, should we pin down the identity of the perpetrator? This evidence, I've been staring at it all day, but there's nothing that can identify the perp.
Yes, there is.
Lefton, that guy lost his hand. Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right? I remember this one best. Right has a broken leg.
Why don't we flip the question and start by asking who couldn't be the murderer? After all, there are only 3 suspects, so elimination could be a valid method.
If you put it like that, then do you already have someone in mind?
Yes.
Tell me, come on. So, who exactly is the murderer?
Lefton, that guy lost his hand.
Based on the bailiff's statement, Lefton's dominant hand was seriously injured to the point where he had to learn how to live using only his left hand. Swinging that giant sledgehammer to murder someone, that must be hard for him. Probably impossible. Lefton's suspicion level can be downgraded.
So, who exactly is the murderer? I remember this one best. Oh, is that so? I feel like the evidence doesn't really...
Whatever.
Oh, is that so? Oh, is that so? Oh, is that so?
Okay, better not try to say it's right. That makes no sense, but sure.
So, who I... Remember Zhongshan's...
Poor guy. He was seriously injured and was all wrapped up in bandages to keep his good looks safe. If that's the case, then he couldn't have made it through the Goldhammer Residence's facial recognition system. That would suggest that Zhongshan is not the murderer.
By process of elimination, it seems that only Wright could be the murderer.
But how could he sweeten that hammer?
That was easy. Let's tell the constable our answer and see what he thinks.
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are lots of clues at the crime scene that are sure to help you apprehend the real culprit.
The murderer is Wright.
You have answered correctly! As expected, you didn't disappoint, Lady Black Swan. Game rules stipulate I must tell you where the next puzzle is.
Huh? The next puzzle? I didn't sign up for this.
Looks like the key to winning lies not in the puzzle itself, but in the motives behind Miss Sparkle's strange behavior. I'm afraid this chase may just go on forever.
I have to remind you that Sparkle is a masked fool? Do you plan on finding logic in the mind of a masked fool?
That's exactly what I plan on doing. Even if it's just subjective, there must be an overall principle behind the behavior. Memories cannot lie, and hers may just understand more about her than she does herself. Right now, let's follow her train of thought and head to the next puzzle. I hope this time we can get ahead of the Bloodhound family. I want to try and avoid using my Memo Keeper powers.
So why are you so focused on Sparkle's challenge? Or should I ask, are you more focused on Sparkle herself?
I told you, it's purely out of a spirit of competitiveness. And, as a Memo Keeper, I also have to fulfill my responsibilities and harvest some interesting memories. Memories seem to be different again.
Become part of the family. Raise and last in it.
Whoa, this place is a complete mess. And those two weirdos are probably here too.
There's nobody else at the scene. Seems like Miss Sparkle used the same method to send dreamers back to reality. Let's talk to those two there, then.
Oh, Detective Black Swan and Detective Sampo! You finally made it! We don't know what we'd do without your help.
Why are you talking like that? Is this some sort of artistic performance that young people are into these days?
Is there something wrong with the way we are talking? Deputy Sheriff, am I talking in a strange way? Oh, of course not, Sheriff. The way you talk is no stranger than the cat that climbs the apple tree in my grandma's backyard.
Huh. The skit this time is a modernist one.
Let's discuss this difficult case then. The victim is a galactic business magnate named Sparkle.
Her again? Sparkle really is obsessed with scripting her own death.
Oh, for the laughter. If you undercut me one more time, I swear I'm gonna kick you in the butt! Ahem. Miss Sparkle came to the fashion store to buy herself a brand new tie. She didn't come back out. After a long time, the shopkeeper went in to see what was going on, but instead discovered Miss Sparkle's body. She had been strangled to death. There were 3 suspects on the scene, namely a Papashi shopkeeper named Wright, a Foxian gambler named Zhang Shan, and a wealthy Intellitron trader called Lefton.
Our old friends.
It's not just to aid your memory. We've added more descriptions to help tell them apart. Miss Sparkle is so gracious. Based on surveillance footage, witness testimony, and various pieces of evidence, the killer is ultimately among these 3, and they were not working in cahoots.
You're too lazy to be a suspect, right?
Oh, for the laughter! If I talk any more with you, it'll make my pure soul filthy! Detective Black Swan, the dossiers are over here. You can learn more about the suspects from me. I trust you'll be able to cut through the hogwash and find out who Miss Sparkle's killer is. Let me introduce the identities of these suspects to you. It's very straightforward. First of all is the shopkeeper, Wright. He's one of the Papashi people and only stands as tall as Sparkle's waist, which is often a source of teasing for him. He can get pretty salty about it. Next up, you have the merchant Lefton. He wants to join up with the Penacony Trading Guild and is in direct competition with Miss Sparkle. That could be a motive for killing her. Finally, there is the gambler Zhang Shan. He lost a bet to Miss Sparkle, and he had to hand over his family heirloom. It's possible he harbored a grudge against her. That's all the information we have. Do you need me to repeat it?
That won't be necessary. I remember it all. And there's the tie.
That skit before said that the deceased was strangled. Is this tie some kind of joke murder weapon?
The tag on the tie reads, "Only for Imperial Master Lefton." Seems like it's one of Miss Sparkle's personal belongings.
That's not how you use the word Imperial.
There's an accounting book lying on the ground. It must have been specially placed there by Sparkle.
On the title page is written Chen Katong. Is that someone's name? A code name. Oh, I think it's the name of the owner of this book.
This Jian Katong person should be Sparkle's targeted victim this time around.
So, it's just like the first case then. Only 2 pieces of evidence. The rest hidden inside her memories again, right?
Miss Sparkle doesn't want to distract your investigation.
She doesn't want to distract our investigation? What a law-abiding citizen this Sparkle is. Why doesn't she surrender then?
Become part of the family. Enjoy being fit for a king.
A little stool that seems quite normal. There are 2 small footprints drawn on it in crayon.
The footprints, which are half as big as standard, must belong to a Pepeshi person.
Perhaps it's just that this person's drawing skills are extraordinary. What's that smell? Why is there a smoked red herring there?
Mr. Sampo, take a look. This is a wonderful smoked red herring.
Somebody save me from this cringe joke.
Even among the fools I know, Miss Sparkle's sense of humor stands out from the rest.
Have you dealt with many masked fools before?
No, only a handful. After all, I prefer warm memories baked in sunshine. They're the ones that usually belong to kind people.
This clock is...
Open it up and take a look.
So there's a ring inside. This is evidence too. Why was it planted inside another device?
Because this ring was found inside the victim's mouth. We want to reconstruct the scene of the crime.
In the victim's mouth.
Hey, there's something engraved inside the ring. Zhongshan family heirloom. That should be it. Let's head out.
I have to thank you, Mr. Assistant Detective, but the puzzle this time is pretty strange.
Have you found out who the killer is?
Just some shallow intuition. Anyway, let's report back to the sheriff for now.
Oh, for the laughter! Didn't think I'd be seeing Detective Black Swan so soon. What's that? You found out who the killer is?
Pretty much.
You live up to your reputation, Detective Black Swan. As smart as the nest of magpies roosting in the roof of my Uncle Frank's garage.
This guy is mixing up his birds here.
Then go ahead. Who is the killer, and what evidence do you have to prove the case? Good. Then let us appreciate your powers of deduction. Have you solved? Lefton is a wealthy merchant who has been competing with Miss Sparkle for decades.
This tie is a piece of evidence, right?
That's right! That's the one! This tie belongs to Lefton, and it just so happens to be the murder weapon in this case. Lefton snuck into the changing room and waited for poor Miss Sparkle to enter before using this very tie to brutally kill her. And then he stuffed Zhongshan's ring into her mouth as a way to try and frame him. What a tragedy! If it weren't for your incisive detective work, the murderer would still be at large.
Is something wrong here? This is too easy. The first case wasn't hard, but this one...
As you can imagine, the conclusions that the evidence points to are not mutually exclusive. Which means, this is probably another prank from Miss Sparkle. Mr. Assistant Detective, please feel free to point out a suspect as the murderer.
Ah, I see. Sheriff, the murderer is Lefton. The evidence is the tie, right?
Correct, Detective Sampo. I never thought you'd be able to deduce the truth.
Sheriff, the murderer is right. The evidence is the stool, right?
Yes! For the laughter, how did I fail to realize this formidable intellect of yours?
Then, right from the start, there was no murderer. The evidence is the ring. Whatever, I'm just spitballing here.
Goodness me! Deputy Sheriff, is he really a genius? How could such an unfathomable mystery be solved so easily by him?
Ugh.
Look, Miss Sparkle has given us a puzzle where every single answer is correct.
Why take it so seriously? Miss Sparkle is a masked fool, not a masked genius. If it's a challenging puzzle you want, please go out there and turn right until you get to the Intelligentsia Guild. We're only responsible for providing an entertaining detective experience.
Well, it's not entertaining. This is just...
Anyway, since our genius detective Black Swan has cracked the case, I will now share Miss Sparkle's next puzzle with you.
So that's it? This is just going to go on and on forever? We can't do that.
Then I wish you both the best. Oh yes, if you're not in a hurry, I can tell you the answers for some of the outcomes you never chose.
Just as you said, solving puzzles is all just a cover for something else. That girl is toying with us. What should we do now? Just keep getting led around by her?
Truly, Miss Sparkle is a fascinating person. She seems chaotic inside, but easy enough to understand. Like a performer on the stage or child hungering for attention. This game will be over soon. This time, we're going to catch her.
Discard your worthless destiny.
Miss Black Swan, Mr. Sampo, you're finally here! I am the famed detective of Penacony, and next to me here is my assistant detective.
A murder in a locked room has left us all stumped.
As expected, another change in setting.
Yesterday, my assistant and I were visiting the famed artist Miss Sparkle, and we stayed the night. But this morning, Miss Sparkle didn't come out of her bedroom. The butler, Zhongshan, said that the door was locked from inside, so we ought not to have disturbed her. But Miss Sparkle had never slept in so late. And no matter how hard he knocked, there was no answer from inside.
As soon as I heard, I knew something must have happened. So I acted decisively and broke the door down to get inside.
The room was covered in spattered blood. Miss Sparkle's body was lying right in the middle, her face white as snow. One look told me she'd been dead for some time.
Thinking quickly, I grabbed the artist canvas to staunch Miss Sparkle's blood, but... alas, poor Miss Sparkle! She's left us now forever!
Besides us and Zhongshan the butler, Lefton the cook and Wright the driver were also at the scene of the crime. What would you like to do?
Presumably, Miss Sparkle is now carefully arranging the next crime scene, right? Why don't you skip all this rigmarole and just have a heart-to-heart conversation with me? It might tickle a little.
Wait up! Wait up!
Honest kid. I know where you are, Miss Sparkle.
No
cheating!
Huh. Mr. Assistant Detective. You seem to be getting anxious.
No, it's... This locked room murder case is pretty fun. I want to guess who it was.
Let's go. Can't keep a girl waiting, can we?
Hey, Miss Black Swan, wait up! Wait up! Miss Sparkle has one final message to announce.
Ding-a-ling! Now comes the most exciting and romantic moment in any drama. The audience challenge. Everyone knows that the mighty masked fool Sparkle can change her appearance to look like others. And in this drama, the villain Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. So then, I put to you, which character is it? Also, if you're interested in the locked room case that the memo keeper ignored, you can try out your powers of deduction. I put lots into coming up with the puzzle, so don't let it go to waste. Thus, the masked genius Miss Sparkle has thrown down the gauntlet. All the clues are in motion. Happy hunting!
Miss, why didn't you just do this earlier?
Such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. But as a means to an end, I need to put this aside for a more indifferent process.
There's no weird, sweet dreams troupe. Nor is there evidence strewn all over the place. We finally caught up with her. But what's that thing? A Bella Boggian trash can? In Penacony?
Hey! Dear Memo Keeper and Mr. Coldfeet, you made it! I didn't expect you to skip the final puzzle. That's on me. All right. Miss Sparkle cares not for the faults of ants like me. Come then. This is the final question. Listen up. What creature has 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night?
No murder case this time around?
Sometimes it's nice to take things easy. Come on, dear, give me your answer then.
Seeing as you're right here in front of me like this, then I guess the answer is a trash can, right?
Womp womp. Wrong answer. That's funky, but a wild guess. The correct answer is Sparkle. When sleepy in the morning, she can't get out of bed. She runs about all afternoon in a fluster, so is exhausted by evening, but has to still raise a hand to hold a toothbrush. Poor Sparkle. So naturally, she's got 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night.
What the heck was that jibber jabber?
What a cute answer.
Thanks for the compliment, my dear. But you can't try to fool me, seeing as you've just tried to cheat. Wrong answer. Accept your punishment.
I underestimated you.
Ill tidings manifest.
Stand still.
The dead return!
Not bad.
Receive divinity. Repay.
Ill fate descends.
Holy smokes! What's up with this guy? He just came out swinging from nowhere! Huh? No voices? This guy's pretty quiet. Miss, let's hurry up. Flip open the lid and find the girl.
Wait. Don't move. Something's off.
Miss, you killed Sparkle! How is this possible? How can people die inside Penacony's dreamscape? In the Garden of Recollection? What did you do? You did this, didn't you? Killing people in their dreams. Only the Remembrance has the powers to do that. You planned it out all from the start because she teased you and was pranking you. You wanted to kill her. Oh, I understand. You refused to let me go because you wanted to drag me into all of this. If I don't agree, I'll end up just like she did.
There is no death inside Penacony's dreamscape. That's the promise of the family and the blessing of the harmony. Not even a memo keeper can break this barrier. There's no need to take such great pains. If you just want confirmation, I've already told you the answer, Miss Sparkle.
Miss Sparkle? Who are you talking to?
You. Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. Wouldn't that be you, Mr. Sampo?
This? Don't jump to conclusions! If you want to accuse me of being Sparkle, you have to provide the evidence. Oh, I'm afraid evidence is a little too hard to come by. So, deduction will do.
The hint for the final question was a little too obvious.
Oh, you mean the locked room murder? I thought you weren't doing that one.
All the painstaking effort that Miss Sparkle put into it. How could I ever miss it? The key to solving the puzzle lay in two pieces of information put forward by the detectives. First, the large splatter of blood at the crime scene. Second, the victim had been dead for some time. Based on my shallow understanding, I can only draw two conclusions. One is that the murderer did not need to create a locked room case, because a locked room always needs a reason to exist. But, based on the detective's description, this locked room did not delay the discovery of the body. There was no third party at the crime scene to frame, and the blood everywhere didn't look like a faked suicide. That being so, the murderer seems to have no reason for creating a locked room. There is also reason to speculate that if the crime scene was a locked room, then its creator might not necessarily be the murderer. As for my second conclusion, it's even more obvious still. When everyone broke into the scene of the crime, why did the assistant rush off to staunch the blood? A trained professional was somehow happily destroying a crime scene just to save someone who's obviously been dead a while. The answer is simple. It's because the assistant detective is the murderer. At the time, I was in such a hurry that I didn't hear the whole mystery. I tentatively speculated that the murderer had killed the victim the night before, but hadn't locked the door from the inside. And so, when he learned this piece of information, he realized that the victim had created their own locked room mystery. That's why he had to rush to the crime scene as soon as possible, to confirm whether or not the victim left any evidence implicating him. And, judging by his behavior, it probably had something to do with that canvas. Like some final words. Of course, this is just a simple mind game. The answer to the puzzle isn't important. Miss Sparkle just wanted to pass on one hint to me. That the murderer is the assistant detective. Which means it's you, Mr. Sampo. I've been using this term of address, but it was you who first came up with it.
Has anyone ever told you that you're more like a detective than a memo keeper?
In my opinion, there is no difference between the two. Follow ripples along the surface of the water. Use some abilities and tricks to keep diving deeper, and touch that secret deep inside people's hearts. Salvage it, and protect them carefully. The truth does not lie. Neither do memories.
Exquisite reasoning, and very close to the truth. But I have another answer. Would you like to hear it?
Another answer?
The great artiste Sparkle locked herself away in her bedroom, using red paint to create the semblance of spattered blood everywhere. And that assistant detective who was first on the scene, who confirmed her death, was not the murderer, but rather an accomplice who assisted her in faking her own death.
What a pity. Such a pity. My dear, you were so close to the right answer. Unfortunately, the right answer is... Miss Sparkle's body. Sparkle was disguised as Sparkle's body. Ding-a-ling! I won!
Does Miss Sparkle's body even count as a real character?
Why not? Miss Sparkle's body appeared in all 3 of those skits just then.
It's a little bit forced, but it's fine. So, who is this Mr. Sampo, then?
Beautiful lady. I already confessed everything to you earlier on. I really didn't know a thing. I just helped a friend send a letter. That's all.
So I've been running a fool's errand this whole time.
My dear, why so serious? Haven't you been having a great time? I have, at least. You take memories, and I get joy. We get what we need from each other, seeing as we're such kindred spirits, but also such loners. Why don't you come and work with me? Ooh, we can dance ballet together.
Oh? Am I understanding this correctly? A masked fool inviting me to work together?
A show of unprecedented splendor is about to be staged in Penacony. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. If you want to appreciate this drama, you have to stand up under that spotlight as you take the stage and watch the dancing envelop you. Come with me. This is the best seat in the house.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on destroying family barriers. But, as I said before, a memo keeper can't help you. It's frankly above my pay grade. Also, I don't consider you a loner. Oh, I don't mean him, but rather behind you. The one who hired you to come to Penacony probably doesn't want you secretly linking up with other forces, right?
How did you know?
Memory is like the deep blue sea. But if you try to catch 2 fish with 1 cast, you might not be satisfied with your catch.
So, you mean you're refusing? Memo Keeper, did you think you could just leave?
Why not?
My dear, I don't want to scare you. You'll know the answer sooner or later. We're just getting to know each other a little today. If you ever change your mind, come find me at the tavern. That is, if you can find me. Let's go, Sampo? Sampo. Who is Sampo?
This is Bellabog, right?
I said, why not? Don't worry. Such a crude approach violates my statics of memory. So once you leave my sight, you'll be able to remember everything again. And also, I'm sorry, my dear. My dream dance partner? I've already got sights on someone else.
What special dream is this, Tina? And did you notice its nested structure? Being part of a play inside the dreamscape, it's as real and captivating as being in a dream within a dream.
can't believe it's time for Miss Ting Yoon to leave. I'm not ready to say goodbye just yet.
This is what they call fate.
Yeah, we got delayed on the way. Mr. Yang will explain in detail when he gets back. Has the messenger from the Xianzhou arrived yet?
Long time no see, everyone.
Madame Yukong?
I've imagined this moment many times. I was worried I might embarrass myself in front of you. I even rehearsed every word beforehand. But now it seems it was unnecessary. Ting Yun, I'm here to take you home.
Madame Yukong, I wasn't expecting it to be you. What a wonderful surprise.
I wanted to come because, after all, it's you who's coming home.
Yeah, me of all people.
Your body. It's going to be tough from now on, isn't it?
I've already escaped death once. What more could I ask for? Also, it's not all bad. I might even beat you at arm wrestling now.
You're still the same, carefree as always. I have a lot I'd like to tell you, but I'll save it for the road. It's a long journey back to the Luofu. Even if we can't completely rid you of the pain, there must be ways to alleviate it on the Xianzhou.
Okay, cool. Get going so I can move on with my story.
I have no doubt. But since we're alone here, may I ask you one more thing?
No.
Do I really have to go back to the Luofu?
Why? You don't want to?
Despite Phantilia's ruthlessness, she spared me when I should have been eliminated. And why did Miss Ron Mei, who has no ties to the Xianzhou, go out of her way to save me? It seems as if I've become a pawn in someone else's game.
There are people within the Alliance who also believe that the suspect is now on the Yuchua.
If that's the case, it's all the more reason for me not to return to the Luofu and complicate things. I might as well take advantage of this situation.
Take advantage of the situation? What do you mean?
Right now, the marks of ruin inside me maintain a delicate balance. Moreover, they were created by Phantilia herself. If possible, please inform the General, and arrange for me to meet with the Marshal. Maybe this body of mine can help the Alliance get one step closer to the Xianzhou's enemies.
When Ron May visited the Law Fu earlier, she mentioned what happened to you. This coincided with when the message sent by the Astral Express arrived. The Arbiter Generals concluded that Fentilia did not intend for you to survive. If utilized strategically, this could give the Alliance an element of surprise. If we follow this plan, we must keep your resurrection hidden. But before making any decisions, I want to know what you think. If you wish to go home, I'll support you, no matter what others may say.
Then I'm glad. I shall save you the trouble of hearing what those people may say.
The road ahead is perilous. If you decide to take it, I won't stop you. Maybe I'm being selfish, but I still want to know. Are you choosing this because it's what you really want?
I've come to see myself clearly in this dream journey. Perhaps it's what people call a blessing in disguise. There is someone who can attest to my true intentions. Please follow me. She should be around here somewhere.
Is that...
After a strange encounter, I was fragmented into multiple Tingyuns, each embodying a different aspect of my memories. And one of them hasn't returned to me, because she ventured too far. Until now.
You mean her? What is she doing?
She's captivated by something that has deeply mesmerized me. As a fleeting emotion, she's no different from a newborn. Her boarding this ship was solely down to her inner impulse. Madame Yukong, do you remember? Perhaps that was just an ordinary flight for you, but for a certain child, that was her first experience with the sky.
Of course I remember. Back then, you were still young enough for me to carry.
You probably still can. Want to give it a try?
I'm afraid you'd be too heavy for me now.
Just kidding.
I remember you kept begging me to take you to the star skiff, and even dreamed of becoming a pilot. But once you were airborne, you were so nervous that you clung to others for dear life.
This flight was a turning point in my life. The boundless cosmos unfolded before me. I was completely mesmerized, not just by the view, but by a realization. In this world, there are paths beyond waiting for us to explore. Even though I lacked the talent to pilot the star skiff and wasn't much of a warrior, I still chose to travel around with the Merchant Guild. Even to this day, this thrill still courses through me.
That hasn't changed?
Never. Now I can embark once more on my journey as a traveler of no return, exploring the paths that lie beyond. Speaking of which, how are things with the Whistling Flames?
I've left Yan Ming in charge for now. He's reliable, but he can be a bit extreme, and might not always follow your principles as a traveling merchant.
My principles. Forsake what others fight for, and take what others abandon. That's the way to navigate the world and achieve my goals. I will continue to uphold my principles. But now I've also learned that while these merchant principles may apply to humans, they falter in the face of the gods.
But this shouldn't fall on your shoulders to begin with. You are simply an innocent survivor in this war.
Madame Yukong, you were once a survivor in the war too, weren't you? In a hazy dream, I vaguely remember someone telling me that the inescapable price of survival is often more adversity. But Madame Yukong, the gods use humans as pawns in their cosmic game, sacrificing countless innocent souls. Have you ever thought about making them pay?
Every moment of every day. But as inconsequential as we are, how can we escape the fate of being mere pawns? If I could choose, I would never want you to become a pawn. I just wish you could still be that carefree little fox, not caught up in this war.
Don't be disheartened, Madame Yukong. Thanks to the favor of the Lord Ravager, I've become a player in this game. Remember, it's often the unassuming pawns, the lone traveler, or the worm that subdues the dragon, that leave even the best strategists helpless. So, now I'll become a cunning speck of dust, and make those masterminds behind the curtains sneeze a few times.
Is this place also affected by the Order?
No, I'm just here to bid farewell. I changed my mind along the way. This journey has too many variables, so it shouldn't matter if we add another.
How did you know she would be here?
I didn't. I had a hunch and decided to try my luck. It seems I can be lucky sometimes.
It's not like you to leave things to luck.
I'm trying to change too.
I don't think you need a bystander in this scenario. Go on ahead.
You're not worried I'll take the opportunity to escape?
I believe you're the kind of person that has the ability and desire to use everything to your advantage. But that everything does not include Miss Robin.
Thank you.
Now then, Mr. 1 Week.
I'm not leaving. No way.
Let him stay. He won't be in the way. I actually need 1 week to be there. She shouldn't be seen talking to a fugitive, no matter the circumstances.
You don't intend to reveal your true identity to her?
Both parties don't have to be aware that this is a farewell. I shouldn't put her at risk for my selfishness.
As you wish.
Shall we go then?
Let's go. Our journey can't begin if I can't take this first step.
Okay, cool. That's it for me for right now, because I gotta pick up my kids from school. But as usual, Penacony still is not over, even though this is literally supposed to be the Amphoreus arc. So, like, if I fact that this is the Trailblaze mission, I don't know. Like, I'm over Penacony with, I just so, like, this is from Joe, talking to Himiko about something else, which is probably still all still in Penacony. Like, I'm just over Penacony, but it continues. So, anyway, I'm a coming author. Thank y'all for getting caught up in my favorite media. I will catch you all another time. Peace.